Hello and welcome back to the Beginner's Guide to Crochet. We're on part 3 and we are learning the treble. Now we work in UK terms with US terms up on the screen. In US terms, the treble is known as the double crochet, and that's all there is to it, just in the name. So in part 1 we learned the slip knot and we learned the chain, and in part 2 we learned how to do the half treble. And in this one, we're learning the treble. And it's one step up from the half treble. It's very, very easy. And it's used in a lot of work, mainly sort of quick makes, like jumpers and scarves, hats, anything like that. So it's a fantastic stitch to learn. So we've done our slip knot, and I'm just gonna chain up 10. So that's 1, 2, 9, 10. Now I'm going to chain up 3 for the turning chain. 1, 2, 3. Okay, to get started with the treble, we need to go into the 4th chain from the hook. So, not this one, or this one. We're going into this one right here. This one right here. Okay, so yarn over. We're going to put the hook through that chain stitch. We have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to go through once, and we have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. I'll do that with you once again. Yarn over, go through that chain stitch, 3 loops on a hook, yarn over, go through 1, we still have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through that chain stitch, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through once, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through those last 2. Yarn over, go through that chain stitch, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through once, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2, 2 loops are left on the hook, yarn over, go through those last 2. And you're going to continue like that. So yarn over, go through that chain stitch, you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 1, you have 3 loops still on the hook, yarn over, go through 2, you have 2 loops remaining on the hook, yarn over, and go through those last 2. Yarn over, go through that chain, yarn over, pull through once, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, through that chain, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It's a nice simple stitch to get used to. And this is the very last stitch of the row, so we repeat all of that again. We'll pull through once, yarn over, pull through twice, yarn over, pull through twice. And now for row 2, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. We are going to turn our work. Now, much like the other ones that I've taught you throughout the series, we're going through the V-stitch, or as we've coined it, the C-stitch. And with the treble, we once again go through the 4th stitch. So from the top, we don't go through the one on the hook or the one next to it, and then we count 2 more. We go through the one here. Now, it's easy for you to tell which one to go through because the stitches are a lot more bigger with this particular stitch. So you can instantly see which one you are meant to go through. They're nice and stacked. If you pull the chain, you can see that stitch there, and then your next stitch is this stitch right here. Okay, so we're going to turn it back over, and we are going to yarn over. We're going to go through the 2 stitches this time. We are going to yarn over. We're going to pull through once. We have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops remaining, yarn over, pull through 2. Once again, yarn over, go through both of those stitches, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. See how those stitches are stacking up? And open this up a bit and you can see where they're going. This stitch is one of my favourites in terms of when I was learning, I found that it was easier to see where the stitches went, so I would choose this particular stitch for a lot of my projects simply because it's a lot clearer to see, regardless of the yarn that you use, whether it's a bright yarn, whether it's a dark yarn. All you have to do is turn it over and you can see your stitches. So let's continue the rest of the row. So yarn over, go through both of those stitches, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Notice my finger, excuse me, bit of word vomit there. Right, what I was trying to say is notice where my fingers are. So this finger is securing this particular part right here on the hook, and this finger is holding on to the yarn very, very lightly. So we wrap the yarn around, and then I use this finger to push the hook, excuse me. It's very early in the morning here, I have not had any coffee. I'm sure that was one of my excuses before. Okay, so where were we? So we've yarned over, and we've put our finger on top of that yarn just there, and we pull the hook round, we push it through those 2 stitches, and we yarn over, still holding on to the rest of the project here, and with our fingers just on top of these 2 stitches, we pull the hook through, and then this finger moves on top of the 3rd stitch on the hook here. We yarn over, we gently tug on the rest of the stitches, just very, very gently pull the hook through those first two. Use the finger to pull the yarn back, yarn over, and we gently hold the project just here, and then we pull the hook through. And that's how you keep your tension for this particular one. So just notice where my fingers go. So if you are having trouble with your tension whilst learning, just keep an eye on where your fingers are. Remember, don't tug, and make sure you do keep an eye on this loop so it doesn't get too big. If it does, just very, very gently pull it back into place. Okay, so I'm going to finish up the rest of this row. As always, practice, practice, practice. You don't have to be perfect first time round. You don't have to be perfect at all. Just keep practicing. Practice your tension. Keep count of your rows. Try and keep your work nice and straight. Try and keep it consistent throughout so you haven't got big loops, little loops, especially on the chain. Now we're coming to the end of this row, and to keep it all very, very straight, what we do is we turn over and we find the stitch from the previous row. Sometimes it can get a bit fiddly. You can see it just there, just here. And what we do is push our hook through. It doesn't have to go through the entire stitch, this is just to clean up the edges. Forgot to yarn over. So we yarn over and we push that hook through. We have 3 loops on the hook. We yarn over, go for 1, yarn over, go for 2, yarn over, go through 2. And you've got yourself a nice straight edge there. Right, let's go on to row 3. And you can make as many rows as you like. Always remember with this stitch to chain up 3 to turn your work. And you'll find as the rows grow, this particular stitch is just so easy. I have actually gone into the wrong. That's because I'm chatting. That's what you don't do. So, you know, the whole do as I say, not as I do. Oops. See, that's because I'm not concentrating on the stitch myself and I'm just chatting away to you. So do avoid that. Right, I'm going to keep that mistake in simply because we do always make mistakes. It doesn't matter how long we've been crocheting. So should have kept an eye on how many loops I had on the hook there, shouldn't I? So we've got 4 loops there. And if you look there, a nice straight chain stitch, that's that first stitch there. So we're going into this one here. So yarn over, go through both of those loops. So stitch, go through both loops on that stitch. Dear, I do need some coffee, don't I? Pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. You're probably thinking, what the hell is she on about? She needs to stop chattering and get on with it and stop making mistakes. See how this particular stitch builds up so quickly? I mean, look at how much is done there. It's a nice and big stitch. It's great for all sorts of projects. This is why it's always important to learn the foundational stitches, because the simplest stitches are really, really amazing for literally any crochet project. They're also really great to know so that you can advance onto the better stitches. I say better stitches, what I mean is more advanced stitches, the fancier stitches, the stitches where the hook's going all over the place. And you're watching somebody do it and you're like, what are they doing? Slow down, let me see. But what they are doing is very, very basic stitches, but in an interesting, unique way. So it's always good to learn the foundations for that very purpose. Right, so I am on the very last stitch, and once again, you got to be careful because this stitch usually gets really, really tight. So this stitch right here is the last stitch, and you can tell by looking at the rest of your work. And if you can't get into both stitches like the previous row, just go through the first one that we already yarned over. We have 3 loops on the hook, we yarn over, pull through once, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now I'm going to leave it here, so I'm going to chain up. I'm going to get a nice long tail, snip it off, pull the yarn through with my hook, tighten it ever so slightly without tightening the rest of the stitches. I'm going to hide my tail. Now it don't have to be tidy at the moment, this is just a swatch, but for future reference, when you're hiding your tail, there is something referred to as the rule of 3. So let's push the needle through a few stitches, make sure they're all different stitches. So you don't want to bunch up. So the rule of 3, basically you go through once and then you through twice, and then you go through the 3rd time, and that should be enough to lock in your stitches so they don't come loose. Snip it off as close to the swatch as possible, and we do the same with the first tail. So if you remember the rule of 3, so we go through once, notice how I'm going through lots of different stitches. That's twice, sometimes I like to pull it through several more times, but that's just me. Snip it off. a little bit to really hide that tail, and there we have it. Now I recommend that you keep growing your rows so you can get used to this particular stitch, and you'll find that it's quite the mindless stitch. Once you get the hang of it, you'll be off on one. You'll probably be ready to make your first blanket or your first scarf or your first coaster. And I say go for it, go for it. You've definitely earned that now with lesson 3. So there we have it. I'm going to leave it there, and for part 4 we will be learning the double treble, and the double treble is basically one up from this. So see the height of this, the double treble will literally double that height, so we'll be looking at a swatch about this big. So I will see you in part 4, which will be next week. Bye bye.